Hello, I'm APX Toycat, and amazingly, just 3 days after the release of Minecraft 1.18, we have the pre-release for the follow-up update, Minecraft 1.18.1. And amazingly, it doesn't just fix bugs, it also adds a brand new feature, which is going to make your life much more pleasant if you're on a low render distance. Like a lot of Java players are, this is 12 chunks of render distance, and as you can see, from the highest new peaks to the very bottom of the new valleys, it's very hard to see, well, I mean, honestly, anything. And this is something that is because fog works as a sphere right now, whereas when we load up, this can't be the same render distance. Oh, it actually is. Okay, so I swear that wasn't scripted. The same 12 chunk render distance, but loaded up into Minecraft 1.18.1 lets you see all of this. Honestly, the difference is staggering. Now you can actually see what's happening down there in a way you just couldn't before. Honestly, the new cliffs were really exacerbating just how bad low render distances were. And, you know, for example, if we now go down to just 4 chunks of render, 2 chunks is the minimum on Java. Holy Jesus. If we go down to 2 chunks of render distance, okay, I guess honestly, at this point, we just can't see anything because there's no space for it. But, yeah, as long as we have more than 2 chunks of render distance, we can see vertically in a much better way. Interestingly, if you're playing on like 4 to 6 chunks of render distance, you still won't be able to see all the way down the new mountains, but that's not because the fog is vertical anymore, it's just because of that. So yeah, to simply explain, as King B Dogs put it, they've moved from having a sphere of fog to a cylinder of fog, or in other words, the height shouldn't affect how much you can see, because they're rendering in a certain number of chunks, not a certain number of blocks. Oh wow, that is weird. The way that's like loaded out in the middle of nowhere. Again, it's a pre-release, and also render distance is weird, and honestly, all of this is weird. I don't understand anything that is happening right now, but isn't this interesting to look at? But yeah, it's not just 1.18.1 that gets people curious, although they have fixed 3 bugs in this one. It's obviously the 1.18.10 update, which is going to release. It looks like there's lava down there from up here, right? Doesn't it look like that? I mean, obviously it's just the darkness, but still, interesting difference. But it's not just 1.18.1, it's the equivalent Minecraft 1.18.10 update that is going to have to release on Bedrock. Because when Java releases an update, Bedrock releases the same update, but it adds a 0 on the end. So 1.18 becomes 1.18.0, 1.18.1 becomes 1.18.10. This is just a way to distinguish between Java and Bedrock updates, which are usually roughly the same in terms of the headline features, but have a few differences here and there. So the question is, will this feature come to Bedrock in that way? And also, you know, it seems unlikely because we haven't seen it in a beta, you know, before now. And then the other question is, you know, exactly what is the deal with the plans after this? Is there going to be another bug fix before Christmas? Because again, biggest time of the year, big holiday season, or is there not going to be? Who knows for sure how they choose to answer those questions. But the other interesting thing about Bedrock that you might need to know if you're a Java player, because there's no Java Edition 1.19 snapshots yet. However, Bedrock has gone a step further than adding, you know, beta features for 1.19. They've added brand new features for everyone to play around with, and you might not have even known it's a thing. So let me show you. It's too dark in Java right now anyway. You know what? Rather than going to sleep on the Java, let's just switch editions altogether. Isn't it cute seeing a bee go into water? It's just adorable. Oh wait, no, we can stay on the Java edition because we got a night vision potion this whole time. Anyway, as you can see, when you turn on night vision, everything is much better. But that's my slogan for life. Honestly, playing Minecraft on a low render distance is kind of fun in its own way. Like, imagine it. Isn't it nuts that they even allow you to play with 2? Like, again, it's for performance reasons. But like, that spider is barely visible. There will be things that are happening in your world that you just won't know about because you can't see them. But again, if it allows more people to play Minecraft, it's a good feature as far as I'm concerned. I wonder what 1 chunk of render distance looks like. That's my next question. But yeah, let's switch to Bedrock, not because I need to for darkness reasons, but because it's important for the next part of this video. Oh yeah, it's so weird. Every chunk is loading in, and then it like fogs out to be more natural, but it doesn't actually look any more natural. Whatever. Minecraft is weird. But you know what else is weird? So this is Minecraft Bedrock, also known as Minecraft Episode 3. That's a joke about Valve not being able to release, you know, third sequels to games, which is a tragedy, but it is true. So when you're loading up a new world in Minecraft, Bedrock Edition, you have your normal toggles, but then all the way down here at the bottom, you have something called vanilla experiments. Until, obviously, until this update released, this was called Caves and Cliffs Experiments, but obviously there's no more Caves and Cliffs updates to release. I mean, there's more cave updates to release, but you get my point. And if you enable these vanilla experiments, can we get achievements on these worlds? I don't actually know. Guess we'll find out by doing, huh? The answer is yes, by the way, but we've hopped into creative anyway, just so we can see the brand new items, because did you know there's a ton of new sculpt things. I've shown these off before on my channel, but I just think it's really, really interesting to see that at the same time, Bedrock and Java take such hugely different approaches to sorts of different stuff. You know, Java has these snapshots that release every single week as they have something they're ready to share. Whereas, you know, Bedrock is like, yeah, we can only share every 2 weeks. Also, there's a little bit of a lag. Also, you know, we try to actually, you know, like, make sure it's, like, behind a toggle inside of the betas. But then at the same time as being much more cautious, also they're like, yeah, if you want to play around with sculk sensors, and you want to play around with sculk catalysts and sculk veins and all this other stuff, you actually can. Oh, it's weird being able to place a sculk vein on the side of this block. Feels incorrect, but doesn't stop it from being beautiful. And so yeah, that is a thing that exists. In case you're curious, by the way, about why everything looks kind of weird, it's because, just for fun, I figured I would, you know, test if the same thing was true here on Bedrock about render distance. And on Bedrock, everyone has a pretty decent render distance. If you're playing on an Android phone that's a few years old, maybe you're playing with low render distance and you'll appreciate the change they're making to Java, should they choose to make it to Bedrock, which is unlikely at this stage, but I'd love to be wrong. Why is all water purple? Anyway, as you can see, we're now at the top of one of these mountains. It's very nice. And let's lower our render distance, doing everyone's favorite thing, turning on RTX. Yeah. As you can see, same problem is true here. We've got 8 chunks of render distance, but instead of showing us 8 full chunks, it's like, you know, 8 chunks, but also the higher you go vertically, the less you see horizontally, which makes no sense. And yeah, and if you go to the very height limit, 320 blocks, you'll start to see that all this beautiful RTX terrain you wanted to look at just fades out into nothing. Which is tragic, right? Like, what is even the point of all of this existing if it's so hard to see? And even if you use a spyglass, it doesn't render thing. You can just see the peak of an ice pack cap there, and then you can see a cloud there. I don't know why I can even see that partial part of a cloud. It's very strange. And so that, whereas I think you should be able to see much more than that in perhaps a cylindrical radius like you can with a higher render distance. But yeah, we'll see if they can implement that change. It's a cool one. I like it a lot. But you know what? There's one other question you're probably asking right now, which is like, okay, you went through all the effort of showing us these vanilla experiments and these brand new blocks and of showing us RTX. You have to combine them, Toycat, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because let's do some beautiful RTX vanilla experiment combination shots. Okay, and so here we go. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful here. It's a little bit weird seeing a reflective surface on the sculk. Like, you don't usually picture it as being super reflective. It looks a bit better this way. But, yeah, as you can see, my lovely sculk biome. And then just to make it a little bit better, I decided to replace all the leaves of these trees with some sculk sensors, which, honestly, I think having this many of them is way cooler. And this is a great idea Minecraft should definitely take from me, because I am clearly a genius visionary. But yeah, it's pretty fun in my opinion, looking at these new blocks and giving them a little peek. It's crazy that everyone on every platform, iOS, you know, even the platforms that usually don't get betas or snapshots, can play around with things. And I think that's a good opportunity for allowing for feedback and for people to play around with things and whatnot. Also, do you like my little sculk veins covering that area over there? They look a bit strange in some places, but if you just ignore that, I think we've done a great job. Speaking of great jobs, yeah, I think this is one of those really great positive changes. Obviously, I'm glad they're rolling it out quickly, and I hope that they choose to add it to Bedrock in the 1.18.10 update, which I'll let you know as soon as that's out. But for now, thank you for watching this video. It was a little quick one, just to let you know about an update, and I'll see you for the usually scheduled content, I don't know, tonight. Goodbye. Ooh, yeah. I like these two. Oh, the darkness effect doesn't work with RTX. Life is sad. Okay, see you next time. Bye.